Good morning, everybody. It is Todd with Bowerly Consulting. I have something for you today. I've been working on this affirmation. A few weeks ago, we talked a little bit about self-image and how our negative self-image is developed with negative words, negative emotion, and we need to flip those to the positive and use the opposite words and the opposite emotion and read those words, put them on a recording, listen to it. Over and over and over again to get those words into our thoughts and that emotion into our hearts until we begin to be a different person. So I'm really excited to send this to you, but I want to give you a little bit of background. I have been doing one of these challenges of reading out loud words for over a year now. Back in August of 2016, I hired a coach. His name's Tony Child. His company is Elevated Worldwide. Check it out here on LinkedIn. The guy's amazing. And I went through one of his programs and worked with him for 6 months. And a 30-day challenge was part of that. So I've read all kinds of things. And I've shared some of those with the clients that I've coached. So I've had people read for 30 days out loud stuff like The Common Denominator of Success by Albert Ian Gray. I've had them listen to or read Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret, which is also phenomenal. It's kind of long, but it's really good. And other stuff, just to read this stuff over and over and over again. I am currently reading The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino, and I am on the fourth scroll. I Am Nature's Greatest Miracle. I'm finishing that up. And I can tell you, absolutely, without question, reading a document like this for 30 days in a row, out loud, to yourself, not missing a day, and if you do, you start over, it changes you. Let me give you something specific. When I was starting my own company, I contacted my mentor, Tony, and I said, we had some conversations about it and about how he had started as well. His mentor is Bob Proctor. He studied with Bob Proctor and facilitates one of his programs. He's one of Bob's top consultants in the world. The program, I wasn't going to do this. The program is called Thinking into Results. It's rad. You should check it out. Contact Tony. Contact me. I'll answer questions about it. Anyways, Bob gave him this challenge, and Tony in turn gave it to me. Was to read in Think and Grow Rich, the chapter on persistence for 30 days, out loud to yourself. Now, this starts on page 217 and finishes on page 242. It's a lot of pages. And you can see here, maybe you can see, hopefully you can see, I have done my homework. I have read that there for 30 days in a row. And let me tell you, I don't know that I have a problem quitting things anymore. I absolutely quit and gave up on things in the past. And I'm sure I still struggle with it. I do have some anxiety on occasion about things, but I cannot even begin to communicate how many times I have the words of persistence. With persistence, I will win. Which actually that comes from Og Mandino's, because I read this and then almost the next month went right into Greatest Salesman in the World, which the third scroll was I will persist until I succeed. I have these words go through my head all the time. Here's a couple of examples. I was mowing the lawn at the house the other day. And by the other day, I mean like 6 weeks ago or something. Anyways, it started to rain. It was early in the morning. It was like a Saturday morning. I was like at that awkward stage where if I quit, half of my lawn would be mowed and half wouldn't be, and it was the middle of my front yard. And I had the words come to my mind. I will persist until I succeed. Now, I mean, it wasn't like a downpour and it wasn't like category 5 winds outside. But I had it in my mind and I persisted and I got it done. I've had persistence come to my mind. So I just got a bike here for my birthday. First bike I've had in a long time. And riding a bike in Arizona, where I grew up on flat land, was like no problem. I had no idea what a challenge it would be living in Utah with hills everywhere, and my neighborhood is very hilly. But I would get on my bike in the morning and I'll be riding up a street, and my legs are killing me, and I have in my mind, I will persist until I succeed. And 9 times out of 10, I make it up the hill. Those words are a part of me now, and they weren't a part of me before. I know that with my business, with my life, if I persist long enough with the right attitude, with the right amount of faith, and provide service to people, that I'm going to succeed. I had that fear and anxiety in an overwhelming quantity just at the beginning of the year, just in January. I was terrified about this idea. And so I can promise you that reading words like this, of this value, will change your heart completely. Since I've been spending over 5 years working with job seekers in career transition, I immediately saw application to the greatest salesman in the world. So I started writing this affirmation. It is called, I am the ideal candidate. And I've gotten some feedback from you guys about the parts of your job search that are frustrating, the parts that really shut you down, that you don't want to work on. And I've taken those ideas and I've flipped it to the positive. And now we have this affirmation. It's several pages long. It'll take about 10 minutes or so to read. That is essentially going to be reprogramming your mind to the positive side to hopefully give you the optimism, the hope, the drive, the excitement, and the potential and possibility of a career search. So I want to give it to you, but there's a catch. You've got to read it to yourself, just like greatest salesman in the world, 3 times a day. So first, when you wake up in the morning, read it silently to yourself. Secondly, after your midday meal. And then thirdly, just before you go to bed, I want you to read it out loud to yourself. It sounds weird and it's not normal. It's not something we do all the time, but let me tell you, I do it all the time now. At first I would read with a partner, and my wife was going through this program. She would read a page and I would read a page, and she would read a page and I would read a page, and back and forth. So it didn't feel totally awkward. But then I started doing some different challenges by myself, and I mean, at first I'd come down to my basement. I'd go upstairs. I'd read silently and quietly, but I just don't anymore. I sit in the front room. My kids are right there if they're still up, or they're waiting to go to bed, and I'll read. I'll spend 10 minutes reading a challenge, reading those words, and then go to bed, or maybe I'll read something else before I go to sleep, or whatever it is. But I'm not embarrassed about it anymore. So you've just got to get in that habit. Will you promise to me that you'll read it out loud? Then I want to give it to you. So connect with me on LinkedIn. Send me your email address, or you can comment right below here in the comments with your email address. YouTube, Facebook, wherever it's posted, put your email address in there. I will send it to you. And I'll send it to an email. It'll be a PDF that you can read. Feel free to print it out. Feel free to keep it on your device. I keep stuff on my iPad and read it on there all the time. So I always have it with me. Remember, you got to read it 3 times a day. There's going to be some instructions in there as well for you. If that sounds awesome to you and you're going to do it, challenge someone else in your network. Take the thing, read it, share this video with them, and be like, hey, I'm going to read this thing. Will you read it with me? And I just want to give this to everybody to help people out, because I think that, in fact, I know that there is an opportunity out there for each one of us that matches our skills, our knowledge, and our abilities that we are the ideal candidate for. And I want to get this into as many hands as possible. That's it. If you can help me out by liking, commenting, sharing, I would really appreciate it. Okay? And then I want to hear, how'd it go? Do you feel like it works for you? I want to hear that feedback. Reach out to me and let me know. Anyways, I'm excited. I've got this thing ready to go. I will send out the first group of emails this evening, and you'll get that, and tell me what you think. Thanks so much for following. I appreciate your support. I hope this helps. I can't wait to hear your stories. Take care. Bye.